Hey guys, thanks for joining me. This is Jason with Outdoor Adventures, and today we're going to be looking at the Lamina 35 by Mountain Hardwear. This was my go-to sleeping bag when I first started getting into camping. This lasted me through basically all three seasons, summer, spring, and fall. No issues. I want to point out one very important thing before we dive deep into this. If you're expecting temperatures below 40 degrees, I would suggest you get a lower level sleeping bag. And the reason I'm saying that is, even though it says Lamina 35, the comfort rating listed on Mountain Hardwear's website is actually 41 degrees. Now, I learned that not the hard way, but it could have been a bit dangerous for me had I not been prepared with other things, like having a coat. I had this out in 37 degree weather, in an open shelter, not in a tent or a hammock or anything. Sleeping in a pavilion-style shelter, similar to how they have them on the AT. And I had this down to 37 degrees, just on a Thermarest NeoAir X-Therm, so a very, very warm pad. And I was still a bit chilly. I had to put my fleece jacket on to stay warm that night. So even though, like I said, it says 35, the comfort rating on this is 41. So just keep that in mind, guys. The survival rating they actually list on the website as being 32 or 33 degrees, so 35 seems to be the midpoint between those two numbers. Now, having said that and getting that out of the way, let's dive into the review here. Now, the outside of the sleeping bag is a 40 denier nylon shell, which means it is water resistant. It's not waterproof, obviously, but it does shed some water in some light rain in case you get stuck under a tarp with the wind blowing in at you. It is a mummy cut sleeping bag, meaning you have a hood on it, so you can bring it up over your head. And I'll get in this and I'll show you, kind of what everything looks like here. This is a regular, and it's a left, which means the zipper's on the left side. The zipper is a very, very strong zipper. I haven't had too many snags on it, so it seems to zip up pretty good. It doesn't have a lot of snags, which is something I really, really like about this bag. There's a pocket for a hand warmer or your cell phone right up here. Just a little pocket. Probably put your camera in there maybe. Now, as far as zipper is concerned, it's a very, very durable zipper. I haven't had any issues. I think it's a number 8, if that means anything to you guys. Once you zip it up, you have the option to put this Velcro little flap over top of it. That way it doesn't get in your face, and it kind of just seals everything up and away from the sleeping bag when you pack everything down. You can turn the zipper to the inside, so you can actually zip it up from the inside of the bag, which is very useful. And it is a synthetic bag, which means it's not down. The insulation type is thermal Q synthetic insulation. And one of the cool things that Mountain Hardwear does that some of your lower end bags don't do, there's no baffles in here. Everything is of a welded construction for the material, which means the insulation in here is just all welded together in here. What that means for you is, since there's no seams, they didn't sew it like this together, there's not going to be any cold spots for you because of the stitching. Everything is just basically one solid piece. You can tension the hood up, and there's a piece of shock cord that allows you to cinch it up, so you can get this pretty good. I mean, you can see how small the hole is there. And like I said, we'll get in and I'll show you around. Basically, I'll give you a little tour. On the inside of the bag, it has a polyester, very soft polyester wicking material. Kind of keep the sweat out of the bag and off of you, which I really like. I haven't had any issues sweating up a storm in this. On hotter days, I would just simply lay on top of this and then get in when I had to, whenever it was cold. Same with the hood. The hood is very, very soft. It's non-abrasive on your skin, and it's really, really comfortable. So that being said, let's lay this out on the floor. I'll get in and I'll show you some additional features. Let's get in. Okay, so just zipping it up, and then I can bring the zipper around the other side, and I can zip the rest of the way from inside the bag. Okay. Oh, it's already hot. Okay. So, putting the hood up. Now, you don't have to use the hood. You can simply just go like this. It's out of the way. It's behind your neck. Doesn't really hurt. You can put a pillow in here. But for colder days, you want to use the hood. And now I can take this and I can cinch the hood around my head. Okay, and if it's really cold, just keep your mouth and nose out of the bag so you don't create condensation in the bag. And you are good to go to sleep. You know, covers your eyes, and it's just exactly where it needs to be for me. I'm 5'6". This bag is, you know, perfect size. I have plenty of room to actually move my hands to get stuff. It's a very, very comfortable bag. It's very nice. I haven't really had any issues with it other than the model number should be the Lamina 40 in my opinion. But, you know, 35 works as far as the survival rating goes. It does have a zipper down here. And what I like, another thing that I like about this bag is it has several different areas where you can hang it up to dry. You can run a piece of 550 cord or piece of rope through here, you know, drape it over a tree, let it dry out for the day, let it dry out when you get to camp or in the morning or whatever. This is what I was saying about, you know, you can have it like this little flap. It has little 2 pieces of Velcro here, or you can actually bring it here to kind of get everything out of your face. This is the shock cord, like I was saying. One controls your neck area, and the other controls the hood area. The little pocket right here. It's not too big. I'm trying to do this with one hand. It's just enough. Maybe you can put a hand warmer in there. Maybe your keys. I don't know. Probably not your keys. Something non-abrasive, because this is a, you know, 40 denier. It's not your toughest fabric, but it'll get the job done. Now, when you get the bag, you also have a little storage case. You don't want to keep this thing compressed because it is synthetic, and it will, once the insulation becomes compressed over time, it loses its insulation value. So they give you this to kind of fluff it up, and we'll show you what it looks like in there after we get on this little item right here. And then you can just you can hang this up or whatever you want to do with it. It's a little mesh bag to keep it stored, keep it aired out, keep it dry, prevent humidity, prevent compression, all that good stuff. They also give you, this also comes in the bag. This is a stuff sack, so you can use this to put it in your backpack and keep everything dry. Okay, what I like to do is I like to start at the foot end. Now this bag, it looks really small for this giant thing, but trust me, this does fit in here. I was skeptical at first myself. So we're just going to take this and shove it in. You just kind of keep turning it, and it will go in the stuff sack, I promise. Okay, and then there's this little flap, kind of keeps dirt and grime out, and you just cinch it up. So that whole synthetic sleeping bag fits in this little tiny area, and this is kind of neat. Now the manufacturer has this listed at 2 pounds 6 ounces. And that's just for the sleeping bag. I found it to be a little bit lower, to be honest with you. I don't know if it's just my model or whatnot. But with the stuff sack, it's 2 pounds 4.9 ounces. So let's just convert that to regular ounces. So 37 ounces even for this thing. That's pretty good for a pretty good for a synthetic bag, in my opinion, especially one that packs down this small. That being said, guys, in all honesty, when I first started getting into backpacking and camping and hiking, I was really scared to use down because I've heard stories of people neglecting their bags and leaving it out in the rain, or sleeping under a tarp, wind carrying the rain in and getting their bag wet. Now basically down loses its insulation value whenever it's wet, and that really scared me, which is why I purchased a synthetic bag. Now my thoughts on that have since changed, and I do have down bags now. I'm actually using down quilts. But if you're just getting into camping, you want to save some money, I believe this bag will get you through all 3 seasons. It's really not a lot of weight. It's very compact for a synthetic bag. This retails for $180. I'm sure you could find it cheaper elsewhere, but this is a great starter bag. This was my starter bag, and it has been excellent for me. Really have no complaints except for what we talked about with the temperature rating and the model number. So that being said, I just want to show you what it looks like in the storage sack. Now you want to always put it in the storage sack when you're done, after you've completely dried it out. You want to kind of open the zipper up and get everything aired out. And then you can fluff it up. And you can hang this somewhere. What I do is I like to rotate this, and sometimes I just even hang it from the top here on a hook. So guys, that is the Mountain Hardwear Lamina 35, and really have no complaints about it. Can't say anything bad about it. Thanks guys for joining me, and I hope this helps somebody. If you have any questions or anything about it, please let me know below, or find me on Facebook via Outdoor Adventures. Thanks guys, have a good one.